Okay, so basically, in this chapter, if you focus, we have particularly three portions. One is diet, second is digestive system, and third is physical digestion. I guess there should be another section. Yes, chemical digestion, absorption. Yes. Basically, there are two portions, diet and digestive system. The physical digestion and chemical digestion are the sub portions of it. These are the sub portions of it. So these are going to be our main focus in this chapter. Now, what happens with most of the students? The students often focus on digestive system, but they forget this part. If I properly tell you, this part mostly comprises of 2 to 3 marks questions for P1 and P2. That's all, not more than that. I'm sorry, P2, P4. P2 and P4 only. And this particular portion, this particular portion has no question for P6. No question for P6. I'm talking about only the diet section, and they basically ask you the benefits of particular diets. Then they might ask you about the importance of a particular vitamin. Then they may ask you that what happens when a nutrient is lacking, what happens when what disorders would appear, what disorders would appear if a nutrient lacks, what is the function, or what part the iron plays. So these are different kinds of things that you basically are going to be asked, but these are maximum for 2 3 marks, 2 3 marks. I don't even see that there would be 4 marks in 4 mark question. But remember that this has too much importance, because sometime this is, you can say, you may feel it like a question would appear from this section. It would appear, there is 90% chance. Why? Because digestive system or human nutrition is one of those chapters which are from which a question almost always appears. That is the truth. The question almost always appears, and that is why I'm saying that this portion is particularly necessary. Now, if you focus on first 2 points, what is meant by a balanced diet and the rest of them. Okay, I'll get back to the book later. First, let's talk about the diet. The diet is anything that we eat, right? Anything
Yeah.
that we eat. So remember that we have you can say a metaphor or a particular phrase that we are what we eat. Do we have any this kind of phrase? Do you know?
Yeah, I've heard it before.
Yeah. This is you can say this is an ultimate truth that um, whatever you eat most would become uh, the most part of your body. Now, basically, when we talk about um, our diet, what is the main focus? From our diet or from our food, basically, what is our purpose? Our purpose is to get energy. Our purpose is to get raw materials. Our purpose is to get the elements. The food, particularly, is not for taste. What I'm trying to say, that Taste is not something, taste is not something that we actually, if I particularly say, taste is just to attract towards the food. But if the taste is, you can say, removed from different organisms, it is not lethal for them. You know why? Because eating of food does not mean that we need to take the taste of the food. No. The main purposes of the food is energy, raw material, and elements. We get the energy from different kinds of foods. We get the raw materials, we get the elements. So now, first of all, focus. If we minus the energy foods, would we be able to survive?
No, that
If
we
we
don't
get
have
the
any
food,
energy.
yes. If we do take the foods with energy, if we do take the foods with energy, but we minus the raw materials, what's the problem in it?
It would lack the micronutrients.
Micronutrients, or you can also say that it would result in abnormalities. What kind of abnormalities do you think would be suffering if we are not taking the proper raw materials?
Um, I'm not sure what you mean.
Okay, suppose that if we don't take the protein,
Yeah.
what kind of abnormality in our body would appear? I'm not expecting you to give the exact answer, but anything that you know.
So, for example, if we don't have take the protein, then we won't have enough cell regrowth and tissue regrowth.
Very good, very good. That's an exact answer. Exactly. We won't be able to grow properly. We won't be able to heal ourselves. We won't be able to. We won't be able to heal ourselves. We won't be able to. Um, you can say uh, different. We won't be able to do particular activities. We won't be able to even build our muscles if we don't have proper proteins. So overall concept of raw materials is that um, all these materials are required for different kind of activities. Suppose if I say that I need stronger bones, what's the raw material for that?
Calcium.
Calcium, and there is another one, phosphate. So the calcium and phosphate. But you know that if we miss those raw materials, we'll be weakened. Similarly, if we miss the raw materials, we'll not be able to grow the healthy teeth. So that is basically the idea of the raw materials. Even if we don't get the proper elements, what do you think would happen? Obviously, there is carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. These are the raw materials, and these are the basic building blocks of the body. I'm talking about the elements, building elements of the body. These are. So if they are not present, that's all. There would be no, the growth would not be proper. So that is why we need to have a balanced diet. And that balanced diet means it should be consisting of everything in required proportion. In required proportion. Now, I did not say it means that diet should be consisting of everything equally. Why did I not say that everything should be equally present? Remember that equal presence is never the idea. Suppose that I eat 20 grams of protein.
Yeah.
I eat the egg daily in the
Yeah.
morning. I eat 20 grams of egg, sorry, 20 grams of protein.
Protein. Yeah.
If I take 20 grams of protein, does that mean that I would be requiring the equal amount of vitamin D? No,
No.
I don't need the equal amount. I need the required amount.
Yeah.
So that is why that is the balanced diet, a diet consisting of every essential every essential portion, everything or every essential thing in required proportions. That is the concept of the balanced diet. So this is what we are, first of all, we are going to get the idea for. Remember that number one, the diet are basically the nutrients. So the first nutrient that we'll be discussing about will be the carbohydrates, and then the fats, and then the proteins. So since we have already talked about these things, I'd like you to tell me what are the uses of the carbohydrates in our bodies.
To restore our glycogen index and
Glycogen
for
index.
energy.
By the way, where did you hear the index word coming with the glycogen?
Is it correct or wrong?
No, no, no. This is glycogen index is nothing. It is glucose index.
Oh yeah, sorry, yeah.
The
Glucose
real
index.
word is the glucose index, and it is basically essential for the diabetic persons to know that what are the GI indexes of different kinds of foods,
Yeah, I
because
got
the
confused
higher,
between the glucose and the glycogen.
yeah, basically the higher the GI index, the dangerous that food is for the diabetic person.
Yeah.
So basically, if I talk about the carbohydrates, I basically am saying that this particular type of my diet is essential for energy. One part that the carbohydrates play, and this is, you can say, the 70% of the part that carbohydrates often play is fulfilling the requirements of energy. 70%. What is the rest of the 30%? We don't basically discuss that in our syllabus, but it is essential for functioning of proteins, etc. Functioning. So that kind of function is often is discussed in A levels, not at this level. So essential for energy. It means that the diet, if we eat with the carb, or you can say in the because you have also been doing the gym, so another word we know for it is the calorie.
Yeah.
The calories are basically made by the carbohydrates, primarily. I would say primarily. So the carbohydrates basically, how many types are there?
Of carbohydrates?
Yep.
Um, I think there's was it like simple and complex, right?
No. Uh, the types of carbohydrates
Sugars,
or classification.
starches,
Okay, no,
fiber.
no, no. Hold on. Classification of carbohydrates:
Sugar, starches, fiber.
mono, di, and
Oh, okay.
polysaccharides. Yes. In monosaccharides, there is only one that is 90% required, and that is glucose. Glucose is normally not taken as it is. We don't take glucose as it is. We find different sources of glucose. But remember that every carbohydrate that we eat ultimately convert into ultimately convert into glucose, ultimately convert into glucose. So, but we don't take it in as it is. We take either in the disaccharide form, like sucrose. Sucrose is converted into glucose, or maybe yeah. Most of the time we take the sucrose to fulfill the glucose, or maybe we can take it in the form of starch. Starch is taken from plants. So, can you tell me what do we eat? And remember, yes, this is another thing, that starch is the primary source of glucose. Or, in other words, you can say it's the primary source of carbohydrates in our bodies. Okay, now I was asking that can you name the foods in which the starch is present?
Um, Potatoes, bread, rice, pasta.
Yes, these things contain starch, and potatoes particularly. So now, since I would say that the starch, since I said that the starch is the primary source of carbohydrate, so it is provided in a very large amount. And glycogen, what is the glycogen? We don't eat the glycogen. We basically build the glycogen as glucose reservoir, as a glucose reservoir, and you know that very well, that the glycogen would be made whenever the glucose is in very high amounts in our blood. Then there is then there is third one, cellulose. Okay, can you tell me what is the use of it?
Of cellulose.
Yep.
Um, so it's a fiber, right? So it,
Yes. 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 The cellulose is fiber, or in other words, it is also known as roughage. We'll be discussing it later. It's a very important part of our food.
does it help with
Overall,
digestion?
yes. Overall, our main purpose is to discuss the diet. The carbohydrates are taken. We must be knowing about different types of carbohydrates and their sources. The main purpose of this thing, the main purpose of the starch, what is the purpose of the starch? What are the sources? What are the uses? So we have talked about the sources of the starch, and we know that what are the uses of it. Another thing that you need to know, although you already know, that when the starch is eaten, it is broken into glucose, and then either it would be used in the respiration, it may be used for other purposes, and it may be used to make the glycogen. But this is a universal thing, that every kind of every kind of major molecule would first be broken down. Every kind of molecule, especially out of fats, proteins, and carbohydrates. I'm not talking about the rest of them. Only carbohydrates, proteins, and fats, they have to be broken down first, then they would be absorbed into the blood. Absorbed, and then this whole phenomena is named as assimilation. Assimilation. So, eating, remember that the process of eating, this thing is called as ingestion. Then breaking down is called as digestion. Then the third thing is absorption into the blood, from intestine. Then it would be assimilated by the liver mostly. And then there would be a fifth step, I'll tell you. So basically, these are the steps that would be followed when we'll be discussing the digestive system. Got it?
Yeah.
Next, before moving further, I'd like you to know that when we study our diet, so I divide the diet into two main groups. Organic diet, that chiefly consists of CH groups, CH bonds. One is carbohydrates, second is proteins, third is fats, fourth is vitamins. These are generally the or they are generally categorized as the organic diet. Basically, they have named the fiber separately in our book, but since the fiber is organic, so we cannot exclude the fiber from the rest of them. So I would include the fiber in the carbohydrates. Then another type of diet would be discussed, that is inorganic diet, but obviously it would be discussed. The inorganic diet is our minerals and the water. These are inorganic components of diet. Okay, then comes the fats. All right. So, what are the functions of the fats? These are essential components of cell membranes. And believe me, this is the functions of the fat. This is the role of the fats against which all other roles of it are, you can just simply say, they are just so tiny against this particular function of the fats. This function of the fat cannot, we cannot be like competed. We cannot be competing the proteins and carbohydrates with the fats when it comes to when it comes to this role of fats. This is something uh, you can say basic formation of our body. What is the basic unit of our body or the life?
Cells.
Cells. And what is the most basic organelle of the cells?
Most basic organelle of the cells.
Organelle of the cell.
Um, the
One of the
nucleus,
basic, yeah,
mitochondria.
nucleus, cytoplasm. There is one particular organelle that you cannot even minus, you cannot even subtract from any cell that would exist on this earth. There are four of them. Ribosome, then the nuclear body, maybe nucleus is absent or present, but the nuclear body is there, cytoplasm, and the last is cell membrane. Cell membrane is the basic component. And the basic component of the cell membrane is what? The basic component of the cell membrane is the fats. There is a very particular fat that is named as phospholipids that would be consisting of basic linings of the cell membranes. So you cannot even deny a single time that fats are essential. And as I said in the chap one of the previous chapters, that the fats are made notorious. Fats are made notorious, but they are actually very useful, and especially they are, you can simply say the diet fats are the most important ones. They are the most important ones. So next is, the uses in the uses of fats. You have insulation. It insulates our body. It works as a connection in our body. It has a connective role. It connects different parts of our body. Then there is, the fats have another particular function, and that is they can be used as energy, and they have almost 2.5 times more energy than carbohydrates. And I think I have justified this one as well in the previous biological molecule chapter. Coming to the point, what are the sources?
Um, Sources of,
Fats.
like you mean what foods have the most fats?
No, but what are the sources of fats generally?
So dairy in general,
Sorry, what did you say?
dairy in general, like milk, cheese,
Okay,
butter, cream.
yeah. Exactly, dairy. Anything else?
Then there's like fast food, but that's the bad fats.
Hmm. There is fish liver oil. These are very good fats. And then you can simply say, plants, plant oils. These are similarly the fats in the meat. These are the sources of fats. So important ones. Oh, what? Why this happened? Important fats, and there is a total misconception about the fats. The fats are essential. The refined fats, the those which are sold by some major companies in the world, those fats, uh, those fats are actually dangerous, and that is why these these companies are basically the making the useful fats notorious. The fat we take from the meat, the fat we take from the dairy, they make it. They make them look like useless or dangerous. So those are very dangerous. This is a very dangerous business tactic, and those refined oil are the most dangerous ones. Then comes the proteins. Okay, what are the uses of them?
For cell regrowth.
Hmm. We first convert the proteins into amino acids, then into amino acids, then the liver converts the amino acids into human proteins. And you know that when there are extra amino acids, what happens to them?
They're processed by the kidney, right?
No, they would be converted by the liver into urea, and the kidney would filter them, because the urea is located inside the blood. So urea is taken by the kidney from the blood, and it would be removed by the urine. Okay, uh, the proteins are, they have three basic roles that I have already described. They have three basic roles. One is the structural role. Overall, our body is building material. Then there is the functional role, that they perform different functions, like they can perform the function of a hormone, they can perform a function of the hemoglobin, one of the basic protein. And then the last thing is they perform the function of the no, sorry, their last role is the metabolic role, and that metabolic role is the role performed by the enzymes. So these are the three basic roles which are essential for our bodies. Okay, what are the sources of proteins?
Meat,
Mhm.
uh, fish, um, nuts,
Mhm.
dairy, but not yogurt, but like milk, cheese,
Yes. Pulses.
lentils,
Hmm. Pulses and lentils. What is lentils in Urdu? Is it dali?
dal.
And what is the pulses? What are the pulses? Is the same thing?
Pulses,
Pulses.
like dried beans, right? Legumes,
Okay, okay,
legumes.
right. Legumes. Okay. There are like the chickpeas is a very good source. Chickpeas, and then beans. Uh, then dry chickpeas are also a very good source of it. So these are different kinds of sources, and one of the basic source that we have forgotten is the eggs. Eggs, milk,
Yeah, cheese.
and cheese, and paneer.
Isn't
So these
paneer
are
just cheese?
the paneer and cheese. These two are very different things. If you go into detail uh, of formation or the making of paneer and cheese, they are totally different, differently made. You can just simply say that they may be translated mistakenly. The paneer is mistakenly translated into cheese. The paneer is something that is non-fermented. And what is the concept of cheese? Cheese
It
is a
is
fermented food.
fermented.
It is fermented. So that is why these are different things. But paneer obviously is a very good source of food. Very great source of food. Outstanding. Okay. So uses and sources we have discussed at all. Now coming to the vitamins. The fourth organic food. So the what are the vitamins? What do you know about it? What is the working of the vitamins? Any of them?
Um, so like for example, vitamin C,
Yes.
so it protects the cells and keeps them healthy.
Yeah. Okay. Protects the cells, keep them healthy. Okay. Can you tell me the types of the vitamins? Other types? C.
D, B,
Mm,
I think there's vitamin A as well.
mm, E. These five are basic ones. Now, if we talk about the vitamins, generally the vitamins are generally the vitamins are the organic molecules that are not digested or broken in our digestive systems. In our digestive systems. And work work for the body's efficiency, like helping the enzymes, helping the enzymes and cell membranes. I'll tell you how does it work. So this is overall the concept of the vitamins. Suppose that there is a vitamin that we discussed very initially, vitamin C. Vitamin C is essential for the formation of collagen. It is essential for the formation of collagen. Just give me a second. Okay, so collagen. And what is collagen? Collagen basically is a protein essential for as a cement. You can say it is the cement of our body. The collagen is a very hard protein, and it glues different parts of the bodies together, different tissues together. And if you have less vitamin C means less collagen, means loose tissues, and that would lead to a disease, a problem called as scurvy. You know what's the scurvy?
Yeah.
The bleeding gums, yes. So this is what would happen if there is if there is lack of vitamin C in our bodies. If there is a lack of vitamin C in our bodies. Okay. So the new Jamboard we are opening. Okay, next is let's see the book for vitamin C so that we can get the these are different this table would help you a lot in understanding what's happening in different, and then yes, vitamins. Vitamin C, also called as ascorbic acid. It is the sources of the vitamin C. Yeah, sources are important and they are often asked. And then symptoms of deficiency is the scurvy, as we have talked about it. And cell from aging. Aging is also connected with vitamin C. So cherries, citrus fruits, then limes, lemons, orange, fresh green leafy vegetables. These are vitamin C. Then comes the vitamin D, calciferol. Its other name is calciferol. Very important thing. And the and this vitamin D helps the cell membranes. You know, as I said, that vitamin C helps in the formation of the collagen protein. The vitamin D helps in the vitamin D helps in the formation of in the absorption of the calcium. and it can be taken by you see liver of the animals, especially the fish, dairy products, eggs, fish liver oil. And if there is lack of vitamin D, the disease of lack of calcium and lack of vitamin D is same, and that is rickets. Rickets is the disease that would happen when there is um, lack of vitamin D or lack of calcium. And what is the rickets? It's the bending of legs. Bones are not able to carry much weight, so they would be necessarily bended. There would be bent legs. There would be bent legs when a person is suffering with the rickets. Understood?
Yes.
Okay. Then there are okay, vitamins are finished. So this is the then we talk about the minerals. Minerals are of two types that we are going to discuss. There are many minerals, but we'll be discussing only two of them. Calcium, as I have already told you, why is it essential for bones and teeth? It is a fact that this is oversimplification. Calcium is essential for many different other parts of our bodies, but obviously we are not going to discuss them. But there are other minerals. There are other minerals like iron, and the iron has only one purpose. It's the central atom for what?
Um,
Central atom for
red blood cells, making red blood cells.
no. It is a central atom of hemoglobin, not red blood cells. Central atom of hemoglobin protein, and it is responsible for capturing the oxygen. From where it gets the oxygen?
The hemoglobin, where does it?
Yes.
Um, so does it
Where
come
does it
from
get
the
the oxygen?
lungs?
Yes. Okay. So now the this is obviously if you lack the iron. Okay, first, no, sorry, I forgot. What are the sources of calcium? I'll discuss the iron later. What are the sources of calcium?
Um, milk, eggs,
Hmm.
almonds,
Milk, eggs.
broccoli,
Yeah, vegetables, leafy green vegetables,
spinach.
yes. Spinach and rice. Sorry, no, yeah, rice. Rice is there. Is very important. There are very important sources. Remember that cheese, the best diet source for calcium is the cheese. Best diet source for the calcium. And then there is like the cheese. Sorry, the calcium. It can be obtained from. No, I guess this is enough. And you know that latest research says that milk is a very bad source of calcium. Very bad source. In cheese, the milk is extremely, you can say calcium is concentrated. You take the you take the milk, a large amount of milk, you ferment it, and then ultimately you keep on removing the other parts of the milk, and then the cheese is made. So remember, calcium is concentrated in cheese, but as for the milk, it is very less in the milk. It's a very bad source. Milk is a very bad source. Okay, so coming to the iron, what are the sources of it?
Um, Liver,
The
red meat.
biggest source, yes. No, no, no. Red meat is not that much source. Liver, there are some vegetables like egg. Egg is also there. Some green vegetables. Some green vegetables. And then there are like the iron is also contained by some you can say fruits like apples, bananas. These are other sources of iron. So yeah, all right. So if there is lack of calcium, what did I say? If there is lack of calcium, there would be a disease as similar as the vitamin D, and that is the rickets. But if there is a lack of iron, there is a disease called as anemia, and sometime refers to lack of something. Emia refers to blood, to lack of blood. So whenever you have you have less hemoglobin, you'll be suffering with the anemia. One thing I forgot in organic nutrients, and that is the fiber. I'm sorry I forgot in the organic nutrients because we started the inorganic ones. So in the organic nutrients, we have fiber. Fiber or roughage. There is a particular rule. In the fiber, the main component is cellulose, and which is indigestible. Indigestible. So, if it is indigestible, it means clearly that um, you are not going to digest it. We basically lack enzyme. We lack enzyme to digest the cellulose. But still, the fiber as a whole, the fiber as a whole is very beneficial. As a whole is very beneficial. Why? Not talking only. Cellulose is the main component, remember. Cellulose is the main component of fiber, but it is indigestible because we lack the enzyme. But fiber as a whole is beneficial. Why do you think it is?
To help with digestion.
How?
Um, I'm not sure.
The fiber, basically, first thing about the fiber that every fiber may contain minerals and vitamins. Like you may have, you may be eating in these days, you may be eating the watermelon. Have you?
Yeah.
Are you? Now the vitamin are also present in the watermelon. Why there is fiber in it? There is fiber in many of other things, just like the uh, you can say there are many kinds of green vegetables in which cellulose is the main component, but we do get benefit from the vitamins present in those kinds of vegetables. So always remember that, like cucumber, cucumber is something that is 90% water, isn't it?
Yeah.
Cucumber is 90% water, but still it contains the vitamins. Mostly people think that the cucumber only contain the water and the fibers. No, it does contain the vitamins. So that is why it is very important to correct our knowledge. Let's talk about the cellulose now. As you said that they are beneficial for digestion, so let's talk about the cellulose now. Cellulose, when it comes to cellulose, it acts as a of fiber, thread of fiber, and this thread-like structure, this thread-like structure would hold the eaten food firmly, moving it quickly through the digestive system, not letting it absorb too much, not letting your food digested or absorbed too much. Okay, now read this sentence and tell me the benefit of it.
So it would speed up the process of digestion
How?
by making it easier to go through.
See, when there is a thread like fiber, it would capture the food.
Yeah.
And when it would capture the food, it would not let it digest. Instead, it would move it quickly through your digestive system. And if you have eaten in a large amount, it would help you. It would help you. You can say it would help your food move through your gut very quickly, and you will not be getting fatter if you have a very regular fiber in your diet. Got it?
Yeah.
Similarly, if a person is suffering with constipation, if a person is suffering with constipation, it would help in constipation. I'm sorry, diarrhea. Help in diarrhea. Although they do help in constipation as well, but they help in diarrhea much. Why? They would they would you can say stick the food together, keep the food particles stick together. They don't let it the fibers don't let it move in a watery manner, just what it happens in diarrhea, and it would help the food, help the body to prevent the loss of food and dehydration. Got that?
Yeah.
Okay. So these are basically some of the uses of fibers. Coming back to the inorganic minerals, inorganic part of our food, the next thing is water. Okay, now you will tell me the uses of water.
So it's important for cells because it's part of the cell.
Hmm.
Um, it also helps the kidney clean the blood.
Okay, and
Mm, they help with digestion, so with bowel movements and urination.
okay. Basically, yeah, you are right. Overall, this is right. Um, the main thing that travels in our body is the blood. So maintaining the viscosity of blood is the responsibility of water. And even the blood is nothing. Actually, the blood is nothing. The blood is nothing the but the water traveling in our bodies. Remember that the blood is actually the water. The red color is because of the blood cells, but the flow of the blood is because of the water. Similarly, the environment of our body cells, like where do the cells survive in our body? Our cells survive in the tissues, and tissues are filled with the water. So there is no other part of our body that could be containing the cell other than the water. So water is responsible for holding. Water is responsible for holding all the cells in their environment. The water balances the pH. The water is responsible for the pH and the normality of the cytoplasms. So everything is because of water. That is an overall concept of the importance of water. Got it?
Yeah.